In this video, I'm going to explain the derivation for finding the final speed of the second mass. Actually, this is the continuation of the previous video. Clear? So in the previous video, I explained how we got the final speed of the first mass, right? But here, I'm going to explain how we are going to find the final speed of the second mass. So that means we are going to get this equation finally. Understand? Clear? So it's very easy. Again, we have to deal with the law of conservation of linear momentum, and we have to take the final equation of the previous video, and we are going to substitute that answer here. Understand? So in the final video, we got the first mass final speed V1 final as V1 initial M1 minus M2 over M1 plus M2 plus V2 initial multiplied by 2 times of M1, M2 over M1 plus M2. So we got this answer in the previous video, right? So now we need this answer for getting the final speed of the second mass. So for that purpose, I took this equation because we are going to substitute this equation in one equation. Clear? Okay. So now I am going to start deriving the final speed of the second mass. For that, I just need the equation for the law of conservation of angular momentum for this case. Clear? So what is the angular momentum equation for this case? Again, we have to deal with m1 v1 initial plus m2 v2 initial, which is equal to m1 v1 final plus m2 v2 final. That equation we need it. So anyhow, I'm going to write that equation. So by that, it will be easy for our understanding. Clear? Okay, let's start. The law of conservation of linear momentum says m1 v1 initial plus m2 v2 initial, which is equal to m1 v1 final plus m2 v2 final. So we are going to take this equation as a main equation, and after that I am going to substitute the value of v1 initial here. Clear? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to rearrange this equation, and after that I'm going to substitute this equation. Clear? Okay. So how I'm going to remodify this equation? I'm going to remodify this equation in terms of m2 v2 final. So I'm going to frame this equation in this manner. Okay. So how I can frame this equation? m2 v2 final, I'm going to move on side, and the rest of the term I am going to take it in the right hand side. So by that your equation will become m1 v1 initial plus m2 v2 initial. When you move this term to the left hand side, by that this equation becomes negative, right? So minus of m1 v1 final. So we need this equation now. Now what I'm going to do, it's very easy. I'm going to take this equation. So let's take, this is our main equation. I'm going to take this equation and I'm going to substitute this equation in place of V1 final. Clear? It's very easy. But the most important thing, while you substitute this equation here, you have to be very, very careful while you rearrange that equation. That's very, very important. Clear? So I'm going to substitute the main equation. So let's take this is our main equation. I'm going to take this equation. I'm going to substitute that equation here. So better I can give the name for this equation as B. Okay. So that means substitute 1 in B. So better I can write this word here. Substitute equation 1 in equation small b. Clear? Okay, it's very easy. I'm going to substitute this value. So better I can write this equation here. M2 V2 final, which is equal to M1 V1 initial plus M2 V2 initial minus M1. In this place of V1 final, I'm going to take this and I'm going to substitute that entire equation here, right? Okay, let's see what will happen. Here, I have to substitute the value of V1 final. V1 initial multiply with M1 minus M2 over M1 plus M2 plus V2 initial multiply with 2 times of M2 over M1 plus M2. Clear? That's it. Now we have to deal this equation very carefully because I'm going to take this equation as our main equation. So now we have to be very, very careful because we are going to rearrange this very carefully. Understand? Okay. I'm not going to touch the left hand side. I'm going to write the left hand side of the equation as it is. So that is M2 V2 final. I'm not going to touch right now. I'm going to play only with the right hand side of the equation. Clear? Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply this M1 inside. So what will happen? M1 V1 initial plus M2 V2 initial minus, you have to multiply this M1 inside. So by that what will happen? M1 V1 initial multiply with M1 minus M2, right? Over M1 plus M2, and also you have to multiply this M1 here. By that this equation will become, because minus into plus becomes minus, so better I can write this equation in terms of mass. So 2 multiplied with M1 M2 V2I over M1 plus M2, right? That's it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to separate the left hand side. I'm not going to touch anything right now. So I'm going to deal with the right hand side. So I'm going to take this term. Why? Because I'm going to take V1 initial as a common term. And here for these two terms, I'm going to take V2 initial as a common term, right? Understand? It's very easy. So let's we just separate each other. So here left hand side M2 V2 final. So let's we take V1 initial M1 V1 initial minus this term M1 V1 initial multiplied by M1 minus M2 over M1 plus M2, and also I'm going to write these two terms separately. So here we have plus M2 V2I, and this term minus 2 times of M1 M2 V2 initial over M1 plus M2, right? Okay, now it's very easy for taking the common term outside. So what I'm going to do, in these two terms, I'm going to take V1 initial as a common, and in these two terms, I'm going to take V2 initial as a common. So by that, we can re-modify that equation in a new form, right? So okay, let's we take V1 initial, I'm going to take as a common term. So what will be coming inside? M1, right? M1 minus M1 multiplied by M1 minus M2 over M1 plus M2, right? That's it. this term will be over. Clear? And here I'm going to take V2 initial as a common term plus V2 initial, what will come inside? M2 minus 2 times of M1 M2 over M1 plus M2, right? That's it. Now I'm going to take LCM inside, that means the least common multiple here as well as here. By that we have to get a new term. So better I will enlarge this equation. So by that it will be easy for your visibility. Okay. So I'm going to take, so what is in the left hand side? Better we will keep on writing the left hand side as it is, because we need this left hand side in the last term. So in the left hand side what we have? M2 V2 final, because the main aim we are going to find what is the value for the final speed of the second mass. Clear? Okay. So now the left hand side I'm going to write as it is. M2 V2 final, which is equal to V1 initial. Let's take M1 plus M2 as a LCM. So if you take this one M1 plus M2, what will happen? Here you don't have anything below this M1, so you have to multiply with this term. It's nothing but the least common multiple we already studied in our school life. Am I right? So we have to do the same method. So by that this equation will become M1 multiplied by M1 plus M2, and here you no need to multiply this because already we have this term here. So by that this term will be as it is, right? M1 multiplied by M1 minus M2, right? That's it. Likewise, you have to take LCM here. So what will happen? I'm going to write V2 initial as it is. I'm going to take LCM as M1 plus M2, M1 plus M2. By that you have to multiply this M1 because we don't have anything below this M2. So this equation will become M2 multiply with M1 plus M2 minus 2 times of M1 M2. This is basic mathematics. Clear? Okay. Okay. Here I'm going to take M1 as a common term, right? In this term, in this bracket, big bracket, am I right? I'm going to take M1 as the common term. So what will happen? Left hand side as it is, M2 V2 final, which is equal to V1 initial. Inside the bracket, I'm going to take M1 as a common term. By that what will happen? M1 plus M2, and this minus into plus becomes minus M1. This minus into minus become plus M2. Clear? I have to close this, divided by M1 plus M2. Clear? Likewise, in this term, I'm going to take M2 as a common term. By that this part will become V of 2I, and here I'm going to take M2 as a common term. So what will come inside the small bracket? M1 plus M2. We already took M2 outside for both terms, am I right? So what is remaining? The remaining term is 2 times of M1 divided by M1 plus M2. Clear? Okay. Now we have to see, we can cancel some like terms. You have to see here, we have plus M1, we have minus M1. And here we have plus M2, and also here we have plus M2. That means it is 2 times of M2, right? So the above equation will become, so likewise you have to see this term also. We have M1 and we have minus 2M. So by that we have to subtract, right? Okay, let's see what will come here. M2 V2 final, which is equal to V1 initial M1 plus 2 times of M2, right? Sorry, it is multiplication form, right? Okay. M1 multiplied by 2 times of M2, this is bracket, okay? Divided by M1 plus M2 plus V2I M2 multiply with M2 minus M1. Why it is minus M1? Plus M1 minus 2M1 becomes minus M1, correct? Divided by M1 plus M2, correct? Okay, I have to close this bracket. Now what I am going to do, better we can remodify because I am going to multiply this inside. So we will make a perfect form. So M2 V2 final, which is equal to V1 initial 2 times of M1 M2 over M1 plus M2 plus V2 initial of M2 multiply with M2 minus M1 over M1 plus M2. Clear? Here, what I'm going to do, both left hand side and right hand side, I'm going to divide the term by M2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide M2 on both sides. So by that, the above equation will become M2 V2 final over M2, clear, which is equal to V1 initial over V2, sorry, over M2 multiply with 2 times of M1 M2 over M1 plus M2 plus V2I over M2 multiply with M2 multiply by M2 minus M1 divided by M1 plus M2. So I have to close the bracket. Clear? Now you can see we can cancel M2 both numerator and denominator in both left hand side and the right hand side. By that we can cancel here. We can cancel M2 here with here because everything is in multiplication form, and also we can cancel M2 here and here. So by that the final answer of the final speed of the second mass, which is V2F, equal to V1 initial of 2 times of M1 over M1 plus M2 plus V2 initial of M2 minus M1 over M1 plus M2. So this is the answer for the final speed of the second mass. Now better we can cross check our answer with the equation what I shown in the first time. Am I right? So let's check the answer. Better I can copy this one and compare whether we got the correct answer or not. Am I right? Okay, I'm going to paste it here. Okay, let's cross check because we have to get this answer. Am I right? Okay. V2 is perfect. V1 initial perfect. 2M1 perfect. In the denominator we have M1 plus M2 perfect. V2I perfect. In the numerator we have M2 minus M1. Here also we have the same. In the denominator we have M1 plus M2. we also here also the same. That means our derivation is very perfect. Clear? Understand? So the answer what we got is nothing but the final speed of the second mass. Better I can show you the diagram here. So in the previous video, I show the answer for V1 final for the first mass. So here we got the answer for this part. Clear? Understand? That's it. So please, it's my kind request to those who are watching this video, better see the first part of the video and then come to the second part, because actually this derivation is a little bit lengthy. That's the reason I make two videos, one for finding the value of the final speed of the mass 1 and the second video for finding the final speed of the mass 2. Clear? That's it. Thank you.